This is CTC News with Wesley Kotar, broadcasting from Sintje Stations, Dutch Caribbean. Sponsored by Utel NV, Windward Island Bank, Kodo's Purchasing Services, and Duggins Shopping Center.
It's Friday, May 24, 2013 on the Golden Rock. Good evening, I am Wesley Kotar, and this is CTC News, broadcasting live from CTC Studios at Stations Mall. Tonight in local news, station delegation attends Kingdom Children's Symposium, Garden Ranger at conference in Leeds, press release police, local market held at Wilhelmina Park. Details in local news after a word from our sponsors.
One driving force in a successful future. But great parenting prepares a child for the challenges to come and motivates any child to accomplish and succeed. Be your child's role model and be the best parent you can be. Learn great parenting guides and strategies at www.parenting.org.
Motivate and educate.
So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making.
CTC News, sponsored by Utel NV, Windward Island Bank, Kodo's Purchasing Services, and Duggins Shopping Center.
A delegation of 4, comprising of First Lady Camelia Burkel-Dembroek of Expertise Centrum, Jacinta Lopes of the Gwendolyn van Putten School, Sandra Vorneman from Youth and Family Center, and Carol Kouveneef from Island Government, traveled to the Netherlands on Sunday, May 19th, to attend the Kingdom Children's Symposium that was held at the University of Leiden on Thursday, May 23, 2013. The symposium was attended by youth educational stakeholders from all 6 islands of the Dutch Caribbean. During their visit, the delegation paid visits to various youth care and educational institutions and attended a very interesting fieldwork trip. Other stations and friends of Statia living in the Netherlands also registered and attended the symposium. UNICEF Nederland Director Jan Bouke Wijbrandi presented the individual island reports to Dutch Minister of Home Affairs and Kingdom Relations Ronald Plasterk in the presence of delegations from the islands and a large audience. The situation under which more than 90,000 children grow up in the Dutch Caribbean does not comply with the International Treaty of Children's Rights. Too many children on the islands grow up in an unsafe and unhealthy environment. That is one of the main conclusions of the extensive research by the Dutch branch of the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, on all 6 islands. UNICEF Netherlands, which interviewed several hundred children, youngsters, and experts, is calling on governments to take action to improve the situation of children's rights. A true kingdom takes care of its children was the common consensus at the Kingdom Children's Symposium that was held at the University at Leiden on Thursday. The most important conclusions were discussed at the symposium that consisted of presentations and individual island workshops. Miriam Schmidt Botanical Garden Ranger Claire Blair left the island to attend the British European Permaculture Teachers Conference in Leeds, England from May 27th until June 2nd. The EPT is a group of teachers from Spain, Portugal, Finland, Ireland, as well as Britain and the Netherlands. The group seeks to network and learn best practices from one another and combine the expertise to complete projects and expand the teaching of permaculture as widely as possible. It is also set up to help support new teachers who are in more remote locations. Blair will also be attending a master class for 2 days before the conference starts May 25th and 26th. This is a knowledge sharing class where people from all over Europe will share their best practice teaching methods, specific games they use to teach, specific teaching aids, and the like. 2 minors were arrested, then released over the weekend after they were found in a stolen car, matching the description of one suspiciously circling a school in Zeelandia. Police were involved in a chase as a result of this suspicious behavior by the minors. They came to a stop in Zeelandia where one suspect tried to escape on foot but was caught by police. A second suspect later turned himself in. Police have since learned the identity of the third suspect and will be arrested shortly. All 3 are 13 years old. The Duggins hardware case is still being investigated and no other arrests were made up until press time. Local market was held once again today at the Wilhelmina Park from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. On sale were locally grown fruits and vegetables, herbs and drinks, and sweet malt. Speaking to a regular vendor at the market, she said she hoped more people would come out and support the market. She remarked that maybe some more exposure about the bi-monthly happening was needed. Turnout today was not very promising as in past weeks. The following local market is scheduled for Friday, June 7th. Coming up next in regional news, NOAA predicts active 2013 Atlantic hurricane season, SINKITS and NEVIS to enhance protection of marine and coastal environment. More in regional news and later international news right after this break.
CTC News, sponsored by UTLNV, Windward Island Bank, Kodo's Purchasing Services, and Duggins Shopping Center.
The 2013 Atlantic hurricane season could be extremely active and spawn 13 to 20 tropical storms, 7 to 11 of which are expected to become hurricanes, the U.S. government's top climate agency predicted on Thursday. 3 to 6 of the hurricanes could become major at Category 3 or above, with winds of more than 110 miles or 177 kilometers per hour, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said in its annual forecast. Speaking at the NOAA's Climate Prediction Center, she said the hurricane season for the Atlantic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, and Gulf of Mexico threaten quite a lot of activity due to a combination of several climate factors, including warmer than average temperatures in the tropical Atlantic and Caribbean. The average Atlantic season brings 12 tropical storms with 6 hurricanes, including 3 major hurricanes. This year, oceanic and atmospheric conditions in the Atlantic basin are expected to produce more and stronger hurricanes, said Jerry Bell, lead seasonal hurricane forecaster with NOAA's Climate Prediction Center. These conditions include weaker wind shear, warmer Atlantic waters, and conducive wind patterns coming from Africa, he said. The 2012 Atlantic season produced 19 tropical storms, 10 of which became hurricanes and 2 became major hurricanes. It will be remembered most for Superstorm Sandy, which NOAA says caused more than 200 deaths and more than $50 billion in damage in the United States. NOAA's seasonal forecast does not provide hurricane landfall predictions or say how many storms will hit land and where they are likely to strike. But in another closely watched seasonal forecast, researchers at Colorado State University said last month that the odds of the United States being hit by a major hurricane were about 70% greater than predicted last year. That forecast predicted that 18 tropical storms would develop in 2013, with 9 expected to become hurricanes. Further in regional news, St. Kitts and Nevis Minister of Foreign Affairs Patrice Nisbet has signed Phase 2 of the Caribbean Challenge Initiative, CCI, and committed the Federation to protect 20% of its marine and coastal environment by the year 2020. This took place at the Caribbean Summit of Political and Business Leaders on May 17th to 18th at Necker Island, British Virgin Islands. Other countries taking part in the signing were Grenada, the Bahamas, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the BVI. The second phase of the CCI enabled other Caribbean countries to join the initiative, which partners with the business sector of the region. The original signatories of Phase 1 of CCI were Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada, as well as the Bahamas. For this current phase, Nisbet signed the Leaders' Declaration on behalf of Prime Minister Dr. Denzel Douglas and noted some advantages. He further noted that CCI provides an avenue through which small developing states like St. Kitts and Nevis can strengthen its efforts in marine and coastal conservation and protection. CCI implemented the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund, CBF, to provide funding for such initiatives. The Caribbean Summit of Political and Business Leaders also saw the signing of a corporate compact between leading business executives and the CCI. The corporate compact represents financial pledges from these corporations, which will also go towards the management of coastal and marine resources of the region. And now in international news, stores shut, schools closed amid curfew by Rio drug dealers. Drug traffickers in Rio de Janeiro ordered shops closed in one of its biggest slums earlier Thursday, defying efforts to restore order to the city's vast shanty towns and renewing safety concerns in Brazil as it prepares to host the World Cup and Olympics. Shops were shuttered and more than 5,400 children were turned away from school Thursday morning after traffickers shouting from motorcycles ordered a curfew following a shootout with police late Wednesday that killed the drug dealer. City and state authorities said they suspended classes at 4 schools and 6 daycare centers as a precaution. Such scenes used to be common in Rio, Brazil's second biggest city and a metropolitan area that is home to nearly 12 million people. But the city has made huge efforts to weed out criminal gangs that long ruled the favelas, as the slums are known, before next year's World Cup and the 2016 Olympics. Although Thursday's events were limited to the area around the Complexo de Alameo, a huge series of shanties between the city center and its international airport, they came as Brazil is grappling with a resurgence of crime in other cities too. In Sao Paulo, the country's biggest city and business capital, authorities are struggling with a crack epidemic and turf wars between police and criminal gangs. This is a war, a 24-hour struggle across the entire country, Geraldo Alckmin, the governor of the state of Sao Paulo, said in a televised interview Wednesday. His comments came as the state unveiled a series of measures, including new technology and pay incentives for Sao Paulo police to meet ambitious new targets in crime reduction. In Rio, officials said Thursday, curfew was an effort by drug traffickers to revive the lawless slum culture in which they dictate everything from shop hours to permission for non-residents to enter and exit their neighborhoods. This is another expression of discontent by a few recalcitrant drug traffickers, Paulo Henrique Moraes, the colonel in charge of security in the Complexo de Alameo, said on local radio. Coming up next, your 3-day weather forecast for the islands of Seychelles, Saba, and St. Martin. Stay tuned till after the break for your 3-day weather update.
Make it a better place.
The way of life and technology are advancing daily in both positive and negative aspects. It's time for parents and guardians to take control. Know and control the websites your kids are visiting on computers, tablets, and cellular phones. Access to the internet can have many positive values, but without the correct parental control, those values can be covered by negative content with just one click. Parental control. Learn about it at www.parentalcontrol.org.
Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for living, make a better place for you and for me.
CTC News, sponsored by UTLNV, Wynwood Island Bank, Kodo's Purchasing Services, and Duggins Shopping Center.
Welcome back, and now for your 3-day weather forecast, we will begin with Stacia and Saba. Tonight, Friday, May 24th, scattered showers with temperatures of 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 50% chances of rain with the winds east at 18 miles per hour. Tomorrow, Saturday, May 25th, scattered showers with temperatures of 83 degrees Fahrenheit, 50% chances of rain with winds east at 18 miles per hour. On Sunday, May 26th, scattered showers continue with temperatures of 83 degrees Fahrenheit, 50% chances of rain with the winds east at 18 miles per hour. We now move over to weather conditions on St. Martin for the next 3 days. Tonight, Friday, May 24th, scattered showers, temperatures of 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 50% chances of rain with winds east-southeast at 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, Saturday, May 25th, scattered showers with temperatures of 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 50% chances of rain with winds east-southeast at 13 miles per hour. On Sunday, May 26th, scattered showers, temperatures of 86 degrees Fahrenheit, 50% chances of rain with winds east-southeast at 14 miles per hour. That concludes our local, regional, and international stories for this evening, including our 3-day weather forecast. Thanks again for joining us. This has been another edition of CTC News Live. We'll be back on Monday with more current updates. Stay tuned to CTC TV or CTC Radio 101.9 FM for the latest in entertainment. Until next time, do have a good one.